And coming up next on The Beat Goes On, we have 3 award-winning wines on the table for tasting. These wonderful wines are all available at winesale.co.nz, a fabulous website for the wine lover. And conducting the tasting tonight is Masterchef Tony Astle from Antoine's in Parnell. Tony Astle,
Yeah.
good to see you.
A new year.
Oh, yes, 2012, and how's it been going for you? 2012, Tony?
It's going to be the best year. It
Wow.
started off with a bang.
We're going to occupy our own minds and get going, aren't we?
Yeah, let's just ignore everything everyone tells us and get on with it.
Now, Tony, we've got 3 wonderful wines on the table, but before we even talk about those, tell us about you being a wonderful master chef at Antoine's in Parnell.
Well, here we are. Can you believe it? 39 years.
39 years.
You were just a baby then, weren't you? 39 years, our 40th next year, and that's going to be a big party.
Yeah. Actually, Tony, you must have seen the re-emergence or the rebirth of Parnell.
Well, we were there in 72, we started playing around in Parnell, and that, I mean, Antoine's is a cute little place, a house of ill repute. It probably still is a house of ill repute. However, it was such a wonderful place and was very old, and of course we were there for the first brick to be laid, and in the old
when they started doing it up.
Part when Les Harvey did it. Yeah, so I helped do a couple of bricks, and not that I'm a bricklayer, but we did that, and it's gone through all sorts of changes. It used to be every 7 years it used to have a little swap with Ponsonby, but now it's totally different, and it's having a little revival again now.
Okay, Tony, well, enough about Antoine's and Parnell. Let's have a look at what's on the table. Let's very quickly go through the 3 wines we'll be looking at today.
Right, we have a Whitehaven Sauvignon Blanc from Marlborough.
Ooh.
We have a Westbrook barrique fermented Chardonnay
forward
from
to
Marlborough.
that. Yep.
This wine is from Marlborough, and then we have the #1 family estate, which is also from Marlborough.
Well, I'm looking forward to them, Tony, but before we do, a little correction I'd like to do from the last wine show. We had Stanley Estates. Somehow I forgot to mention that Stanley Estates, you could buy wine from their cellar door, of course, and I forgot the number, so let's put it in now. 03 575 7505 for Stanley Estates in Marlborough.
And that was great.
Sorry, guys, about that.
Yes.
But now, to avoid that type of problem, Tony, what we're going to do now is we should have one source where the wine on the table can be bought for. So we've selected a wonderful online company called winesale.co.nz.
Now that will make your life easier.
That'll make our life easier. So all the wines that you see on the show can be purchased from winesale.co.nz. And what a fabulous name. I mean, it's so easy to remember. Winesale.co.nz.
I mean, that's so easy. It's actually a very good idea. I must congratulate you.
Yeah. Just to make it easy.
Yeah.
So, Tony, let's let the tasting commence.
You'd like to try the first one, I think.
Yes, I would.
Now we're going with Sauvignon Blanc with the first one, and it's Whitehaven.
Whitehaven. So, Tony, I have all the data about Whitehaven here. Of course, it's from Marlborough, so let's have a look at some of the facts. It's a beautiful, beautiful vineyard. Whitehaven is located in the Golden Mile of wine production in Marlborough. They produce a full range of wines at their modern production facilities, using grapes from at least 30 carefully selected and proven vineyard sites throughout the Marlborough region. Originally founded in 1994 by Greg and Sue White. What a beautiful vineyard, Tony. Beautiful.
Isn't it magnificent? Now, for over a decade, Sam Smale has been the winemaker. Now he does a very, very good job, and he's so involved with the winemaking and the whole vineyard. Unfortunately, Greg passed away in 2007, but there's such an integrated group of people and enthusiasts, and they've got consistency and integrity, and they've all got together with Sue, and she is now there, and it's just a little team that is fantastic, and they're just making fantastic wines.
Well, we have, Tony. They have a small video presentation, so what we'll do is let's give our viewers a quick peek at Whitehaven.
Fantastic.
Hi, I'm Sue White. Welcome to my winery, Whitehaven Wines. I'm privileged to lead a small, dedicated team making fabulous Marlborough wine. Come with me, I'll show you around. Our winery here is in the heart of Marlborough. My late husband Greg and I established this winery in 1994. We set our new course in our life by leaving our corporate life behind us, jumped on our yacht, sailed for a couple of years around the Pacific Islands, coming back to New Zealand and finally settling here in this beautiful province of Marlborough. Whitehaven is still a family-owned company with an established, respected label that is totally, utterly Marlborough. Since our very first vintage, we've been winning awards. And our medals and reviews acknowledge our solid reputation as winemakers of integrity. Let me introduce you to our key man, Chief Winemaker Sam Smale. He's been with us for a decade. He does everything here, from the tasting of the grapes in the vineyard with our viticulturists, on to blending the wines in the winery. He then presents our wines to our markets throughout the world.
In the vineyard, it's about letting it express itself. In the winery, it's about careful handling of the fruit. The way I work is to ferment each parcel separately. This gives us more options. We can do trials, and we can do experiments. And afterwards, we've got more ability to create a wine that has the intense flavour and aroma that Marlborough is famous for.
Wow. Wonderful.
Fantastic. It's so immaculate, though.
Yeah, the size of some of these vineyards, they're amazing, aren't they?
They've got a reputation that is preceding them and is actually carrying on. It's just so fantastic, and I think Sue should be very proud of herself here.
And they've got many, many awards, too many for us to mention. But if you go to the website for Whitehaven, there are all the awards that they've won.
Well, of course, this was the champion Sauvignon Blanc in the Royal Easter Show, along with many others. But that was the champion, so that's on the top.
We get to drink it?
And we get to drink. Oh, I'm not going to let you have any. I think you're going to be impressed with this. The colour is amazing. It's got a beautiful colour.
Oh,
it's
I love
actually
it.
a very Sauvignon Blanc colour, but it's got...
Oh, it just
It's
bursts out of
very,
the glass, doesn't
very
it?
aromatic. Gooseberry, it's grapefruit, but I think we should try it.
I can tell already it's beautiful. Shall we go? Beautiful.
Now this is
Isn't
springing around that. You know me and Sauvignon Blancs, and I really do believe, you know, I like older Sauvignon Blanc. This one will last for 5 years if you look after it. It's just got, I mean, it's got that amazing sweetness with acidity, but the back palate is dry, and that actually brings me to why I like it.
Now, Tony, would this make it onto the wine list at Antoine's?
Oh, I
That's
don't
what
think I'd
wanna
have a choice, really.
know. It's got to go on,
You
doesn't
know,
it?
it should be drunk young. However, I do believe if you're a bit of a psycho like me who likes to see what happens when they're older, I love older Sauvignon Blancs, so it changes my way of doing food. But fish, mussels, crayfish, it's a perfect. You know what it sort of springs to mind here is sort of like a bouillabaisse, which is like a fish stew but with a nice consommé. But you know, I'd have mussels, I'd have crayfish, I'd have the whole sea basket in there.
Oh,
But in this, and I would actually use this wine in the bouillon. It's just got so much happening in there. I mean, you haven't washed your mouth out again just yet, but it's got amazing taste. Just have another one.
It's beautiful.
But it's actually running around and it's sort of tickling every little sensory part of my tongue. It's a beautiful wine.
Congratulations to Sam and, of course, to Susan. What a wonderful job they've done. Congratulations.
And I think Greg would be so proud.
Yes, he would, wouldn't he?
I just love this story, and it's just so neat to see someone has continued the dream and succeeded.
Right, Tony, now where will you buy this wine if you decide to purchase it?
Of course, it'll have to be winesale.co.nz.
Winesale.co.nz. Now, wine number 2, Tony. What is wine number 2? I think we're going to West Auckland, aren't we? From our tasting notes, Tony, our number 2 wine tonight is from Westbrook Winery in Waimaku. It can be called a boutique family-owned winery and was established as far back as 1935. The family consists of Anthony Ivisovich, wife Susan, and son Linton.
James Rowan is the winemaker.
Hinges on the great tradition of New Zealand winemaking, doesn't it? With the people from Croatia who came to New Zealand, and of course it's run by Tony Ivisovich.
Now that's a very Croatian
Now that's
name.
a very Croatian name.
You know, since 1973 I've been dealing with people out in Henderson and Kumeu, and they've all got a little scratch on their name, and of course that's our little joke with them. But these people, I mean, 1935 this started.
Now, Tony, I've never heard that expression. You said they have a scratch on the end of their name. Itch.
Yeah.
Ivisevich.
We like that.
I picked that up.
Oh, you did? That's pretty clever. I love that scratch.
I wonder if
on
anybody,
that.
our viewers, picked that
They'll
up. They
probably hate me for it, but
they have a scratch at the end.
I've
of their
had a
name.
lot of scratches working for me, and we have a joke about it all. You know, I won't tell you what they say about my name. However, I always say, yeah, he's got a scratch on his name. It's much easier, then you know who you're dealing with.
Well, Tony, I'm looking forward to our wine number 2.
We have a barrique fermented Chardonnay. It's Marlborough grapes.
Oh, look at
And
the
of course,
colour.
it's from West Auckland Vineyard.
Look at the colour, Tony.
Great colour.
Oh,
I'm getting
it's-
big.
Yes, it's lovely, isn't it?
But it's fruity. It's got a fruit, but not a sort of fruit salady fruit.
Chardonnay. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Of course, it's won all the awards and
I mean,
wonderful.
it's delicate.
Oh, isn't it lovely?
However, it's got mouth-blowing features. It's sort of it's got a delicate, you know, as your first little swirl, it's delicate. But then it sort of gets meaty in the middle. It's got that, and then it's got the dryness. But you must be able to taste that
Oh,
it's
it's
been
just
barrique
beautiful.
fermented. It's just got that little bit in there, you know, that little bit of oak coming through, which is what I like, and it makes it a very good food wine.
And you would have no hesitation to serve this at Antoine's, Tony.
Well, it just goes with so many things, and this is the way things are going. You know, we've had all this no Chardonnays anymore. It's going to happen again.
what can you see going with this, Tony?
I'm actually thinking of what you had for dinner last night.
Yeah.
Like a leek and chicken pie, and it's
Yeah.
because it's got all those sort of...
Can I tell you how wonderful it was, Tony?
Yeah, do I really need to hear this? But I think it will go very, very... And I'm thinking quail,
Yeah.
just with a sort of citrus risotto, but not too zesty. So I'm talking about the zest of the lemon, and this here will go beautifully with quail rather than have a red.
Well, let's raise our glasses, Tony Ivisevich, and say, Tony, at Westbrook, a wonderful, wonderful job. It deserves all the medals it's won.
I think it doesn't. It's
Yeah.
had plenty.
Okay, Tony, where would you buy this wine, Tony?
Winesale.co.nz.
Winesale.co.nz. It's as simple as that, isn't it? Just get onto your computer, type winesale.co.nz, and all the information about these wines are there. Now, Tony, we've got one more on the table before we finish our wonderful wine segment, and of course it's a champagne, but we're not allowed to call it a champagne.
Excuse me. Method traditional.
Has that little rule annoyed you at all, Tony? or-
No, I think it's quite good, really,
Yeah.
because it does separate, you know, champagnes from champagne.
Champagne, yeah.
However, it doesn't mean to say you can't make champagne styles in New Zealand that
Yeah.
are just as good, and I think the next one people are going to be very impressed about.
From our tasting notes, Tony, wine number 3 is a champagne or Méthode Traditionale. Even though it's our third wine, it is in fact called number 1. It's produced by Daniel Lebrun. The winery is located in Blenheim in Marlborough, and Daniel launched his business in 1999 using all the techniques perfected by his champagne-making family in France over the last 12 generations. Now, the family consists of Daniel, his wife Adele, and 2 children, Virginie and Remy. What a great marketing name to call your wine number 1.
Well, I think in the early days people thought they were a little presumptuous. Now, I've known this family for a long, long time, you know.
Yeah.
These people have actually proven, and they've stood the test of time, that they probably are number 1. He's got a world name for himself, and quite rightly so, because he makes it properly, it's done in the right champagne
12
tradition,
generations
which is pretty amazing,
of,
isn't it?
of winemaking in the family.
You know, and they're good party people. I love those people. So they make, this is the only wine they make, and they do it perfectly.
Well, today, Tony, we don't often do it because we unscrew caps, but today we're going to pop the cork, aren't we?
Well, it's what it does for the people, isn't it? It does pop corks. Okay.
Wonderful. Celebrating our first wine show for 2012.
Well, that's perfect for us, but you don't need an excuse to drink this wine.
No, you don't.
You know, you don't need excuses to drink champagne, and this is just as good, and I think we just drink it anyway.
Right. Tony.
Now, I like this
Oh.
because it's actually got a steady bead, which is, the bead is the bubble, and The glasses probably have had detergent on them because it's actually stopped it quite quickly, but it does have a very good bead, this.
Let's have a, what are we getting there, Tony? Just the...
There's yeast there. I mean, there is... Now, this is total Chardonnay, so there's no Pinot Noir in it at all. It's just total Chardonnay.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Which makes it a little bit quite intense, but it's very, very well made because you can feel it, and the flavour is very, very good.
Oh, I love it. Can I try it once more,
Well, yes,
Tony?
you're not having too much more than You know, caviar's back. Oh, I'm so excited. Caviar is back.
You're ahead of this, Tony.
I just love this. And this will go perfectly with caviar. I'm thinking beluga, but I think we might have to settle for a scepter.
Tony, where would you purchase this beautiful, beautiful traditional champagne?
Winesale.co.nz.
Winesale.co.nz. You've hit it on the head there, Tony.
I hope he's got plenty of this one.
Yes, what a wonderful cellar that's going to be. Now, Tony, of course, we always end our segment with a chance for someone to come and have a wonderful meal, a baby boomer to celebrate an anniversary or a special occasion at Antoine's. So we need a question, Tony, and of course it's pretty straightforward. What were the name of the 3 wines on sale today and where you can purchase them?
Definitely where you can purchase
Yeah,
them.
exactly.
Surely even baby boomers can remember that.
They've only got to remember 4 things.
Yeah.
And it's, of course, Whitehaven. They have to remember Westbrook and number 1
Estate.
and winesale.co.nz. Send it to Jared at thebeatgoeson.co.nz and you can win yourself a wonderful, wonderful evening at Antoine's. And Tony, I'm going to thank you once again. We're going to see you in 1 month's time with another 3 wonderful wines.
I'll get my drinking ribs back on.
Thank you, Tony.